How exciting.
Yep.
It is getting to that like time in the year though, where like things are just popping up, people got things to do, like there's just there's no time at all.
Yeah. Nah, we'll be right.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Yeah.
I did like look at like there's just a bunch of units that released. That was pretty much it, really. So if you got anything additional you want to talk about, or if you want to like, I don't know, anything of the sort, then I know we'll talk about. Actually talk about a decent chunk about TCG Pocket, because that's actually been quite good, to be honest with you. So
you've been playing?
I've been playing a little bit. Like I think I've kind of like avoided the battling part, but I think like I want to kind of get into it as well to some degree. But it's been pretty fun overall. Like actually really happy with how the game's made so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun. Yeah, we'll get into it.
Absolutely. But without further ado, there's no time like the present. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 126 of the Good Great Perfect podcast. I'm here with my esteemed co-host of Broseph, aka Toadski. It's just the two of us this episode. The lads are out and about. Flame had a few things pop up. Night, unfortunately, unable to make it, as per usual. Fuck that guy. But
he ain't even needed to defend himself.
That's crazy. But yeah, it's just gonna be us today, so we're just gonna vibe out, see what happens. Weirdly enough, though, a lot of things have released on Treasure Cruise. I don't know if you'd call it released, but it's a lot of units, pretty much, which is kind of exciting, but also kind of daunting when you look at how many legends have released in the last like 2 weeks. Like it's been a lot. It's been a lot to kind of trawl through. But as we've always started the shows off, Todd, how you been, man? What's been going on? Catch us up.
Not much has happened over the last couple weeks since the last episode. It's been pretty chill. Nothing really too crazy's happened. Everything's been pretty much same old on my end.
Very fun.
Yeah, aside from the fact that there's a lot of people jumping on the Pokemon hype train.
Very true.
It's
yes,
been pretty fun. The Jujutsu Kaisen mobile game came out.
Oh, we can talk about that today as well. Yeah, actually, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I've been playing that a little bit, so that's been also pretty cool. But yeah, and of course Treasure Cruise doing what they normally do, releasing a shit ton of legends.
4 million legends. Like, so many damn legends.
So absurd. Yeah.
And
it was also cool to record that video with Boris as well.
I actually want to talk about that. That was such a sick little collab thing. I thought that was dope as hell.
Yeah,
it was very funny, like watching Boris be like, oh, "This unit's really good." No, they're not. Like
I'm actually kind of surprised. He did a lot better than I was expecting.
Yeah, for sure.
He kind of like understood like where units like faults were. Like he actually understood pretty well. I have lined up a second guest for the next episode. We haven't organized the time for recording, but there will be a secondary guest. So
very exciting, guys! It's me, everyone. Hello.
Surprise!
No, I think it's awesome. I think it's a really cool series because like it's a really good opportunity to bring people back that haven't been around for a long time. And I think it's kind of exciting because like the game has completely changed from even like 5 years ago until now. It's completely night and day. Like 5 years ago was what? V1 Kaido? It was released, and that was the meta-defining unit. And now we're in this. We have Captain Shifting and Rumble Super Specials and like all this additional crap. It's like, what the hell? So I'm super excited for that series. Like it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun seeing all the old heads come back in and give their 2 cents on things.
Yeah, it's really cool because there's like so many different legends to talk about. So I can bring these people back for multiple episodes. But the ultimate goal as well is to get people from non-Treasure Cruise community to kind of see their reaction and maybe use their knowledge of other gacha games to determine whether a character is good or not as well.
Absolutely.
So that's the ultimate goal. So we'll see how it pans out. So I'm gonna try and get it done at least once a week.
That'd be sick.
But it depends on like schedule for other people.
Yeah, I think having it like exist and release perpetually is always fun though, right? Like it's cool if it's once a week, but like, dude, like you could even get like I don't know if you saw. I think you did see the other day, like when I tweeted like about like, oh, talking about Treasure Cruise versus playing Treasure Cruise. Then Nick replied saying, working on
Yeah.
Treasure Cruise. That was hilarious. Like, it's so good, you know? Like, it's cool that these other like people are coming out. Like, you can have so many cool guests. Like, Nick and Chris could make a comeback
Oh
potentially.
yeah, getting Nick on would be pretty awesome.
Yana could. I don't know if she has time. She could come back and have a chat too.
That
like,
would be cool too.
There's a lot of like.
I don't know. It's
people
hard for
you can talk
Yannicka,
to.
I feel, because like she currently still works at Bandai.
That's a good point. Yeah, fair enough.
I guess
fair enough.
so does Nick, right?
I don't think he does anymore. Actually, I think
Oh really?
I think if you look at his like Twitter bio, I think it might mention that he's like an alumni of of them now. So I think he might have like rolled off, or at least like the project he's working on is no longer.
He was on the Gundam team for a while.
Yeah. That's it. I think he's like still in a Gundam game, but it might not be a Bandai one anymore, which is good. I mean, I'm glad they're all
probably
still,
for the best.
Absolutely, man. Jesus Christ, working at Bandai as a non-Japanese person must be tough.
I have heard horror stories from multiple of the people that have worked there in terms of like how difficult it is to push for change. And yeah, it's bad. It's really, really bad. But you know, one day when no longer affiliated with Bandai, we can divulge.
We can have a couple
stories,
conversations. Absolutely right. You know, one day. You know, it's like we always like have dreamed about. You know what? We should probably get that into motion sometime soon. Bringing back Nick and Chris now, because he says on his Twitter bio it says a senior social media manager from Mecha Break, former Bandai Namco US. Former Bandai. So I don't think he works at Bandai anymore, which is great. I think Chris works at. Does he still work at Riot Games?
I believe so.
Yeah. So like, hey man, I don't know. Maybe we need to.
That's a bit of an upgrade going from Bandai to Riot.
Yeah, he's the growth. Like. Jesus, the growth lead at Riot Games is a sick to job title. That's awesome.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we need to bring back the Nick and Chris, the what were they called? The Bandai Cowboys. Bring them back for an episode. Run it back again. That's good. I like
what about
it.
you, man?
Yeah.
What are you up to? What have you been up to?
Same shit, different smell. Just working away. You know, like that's really been it. I started trying to go to the gym in the morning, which has been torturous, but has also like been kind of rewarding at the same time. Like getting up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, going to the gym, because then you know your day starts off a little better. Although you do get tired a lot earlier, which is good. But otherwise, just working, you know, just being around everything and stuff, which is really positive. Nothing too exciting though in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
I think it's a kind of good thing as well.
Carissa and I were on a bit of a health kick.
Yeah, how'd that go?
A year ago, and like I was at a point where like I'd lost like around 20 kilos.
Holy shit, that's crazy!
I lost so much.
That's
weight.
Awesome.
And then since I've been over here, we've kind of like slipped. And then my parents came over, and like we've been going out a lot. And so basically, after the whole wedding situation, we're kind of like, okay, we kind of need to get back on this.
Yeah.
So
no, I
been
feel
starting
that.
to like, you know, do actually portioning. And we're going for walks in the morning. So
no,
we're trying to get back on it. It's not easy, but you know, you got to do what you got to do.
I think as long as you're putting your best foot forward and trying to just like to be more like pragmatic about actually like looking after your health, I think that's like the hardest step, right? Like I think that like that happens, but the thing is that's life though. Like it happens. Like I was in the same boat. I was like very consistent with everything I was doing. I was losing weight, and then like things get lined up. You're like one trip to Melbourne, then you're going to Sydney the next time, then you're going to go see your friends for a birthday, and then as the things line up, like you keep doing them, then you realize you're back at square one, but not necessarily. I guess back at square one as well, because you've made that initial progress to begin with.
And especially because like the holiday season coming up too.
Yep. That's right. You know, it is what it is.
At least in the US, we got Thanksgiving, and then a month later,
true. Very, very true. Very, very true. That's it, I suppose, in terms of that, which which is awesome. I think the first thing I wanted to talk about was we've actually had I think in the last episode we talked about the PKA update. Based upon the letter, but I don't think we had played it at the time, so I wanted to dive back into that and kind of get your thoughts on the actual, like how you feel PKA, like the update to PKA was, and like where it kind of sits overall. Like how do you feel about it, I guess?
I feel like the PKA update is actual dog shit.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Like they're trying, but I feel like they just don't play their game. They
No.
don't realize like what the faults are in the game and where to fix them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that damage cap, your favorite thing to say,
Yep.
is
We'll say it one
is a
time
thing.
only. Yep.
And the fact of like, usually if you've got the full batch team, when you reach 150, like the full batch team like fully clears it. But
should be
now that they've introduced level 300, like the full batch team just expires like shortly after 150 because of the scaling. It's exponential scaling.
I think it stopped working for me at 176. I think it was.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah,
which when you really break it down, that's cooked. Like you as a like, let's say like hypothetically, let's say that this wasn't a 10.5 Annie batch. It was a regular end of month batch, right?
Yep.
You as a player have gone and pulled an end of month banner, which is the first mistake, but we'll let it slide. But then you've pulled the whole batch. Fantastic. We're happy for you. And you've gone to use that full batch in the content that's created around them, yet you cannot successfully accomplish the bare minimum, which in reality, the bare minimum for PKA now is, well, it's not the bare minimum, sorry, but like if you want to complete all the missions, it's level 200 on the PKA scale. And the fact that a full batch team does not clear that is astonishing. Like, it completely bewildering to me. Like, and you are right, the HP scaling is cracked. I think it scales up to 11.1 trillion damage, HP at level 300, 11.1 trillion. So the only way to clear it that I've seen so far is a bunch of HP cutting teams. So like using Amande, 50% HP cut, using Versus Whitebeard, the OG one, a bunch of HP cuts. And then at the very end, you can use, remember that quick sugar unit that I think it's like under 15% or whatever it is?
Yeah, I think it's under 20.
Yeah, under 20%. She turns into, she defeats it. That's like the only way I've seen successfully clearing 300.
That is insane.
Which is cool, because like, that's like a very OG style of play, like the whole HP cutting style team. But you know for a fact the next PKA they're gonna add that stupid Great Shield, or the anti-blowaway, or whatever the case is. They're gonna do something funky like that.
It's just dumb. It shouldn't have to resort to that. It just shouldn't.
Exactly. No, exactly.
I feel like at level 300, like it really shouldn't be scaling that high. It shouldn't be an exponential scale. No. I feel like 300, level 300, I get maybe it being 1 trillion. Like,
oh, it should be 1 trillion.
Then, that feels like a lot. Yeah.
Like,
but
if a player, like, you have to think of it from that perspective. If you're going to put a damage cap on the like amount of like how much a player can do, yeah, you're going to exceed that in terms of HP. I get it for Super Boss, no problem. That's fine. Super Boss is a collaborative kind of environment where like you're not expected to do 100 trillion damage, right? But PKA is a completely solo game mode. Completely solo. There's no help. Yeah, so doesn't make sense.
You can use the statues to increase your stats. You can use the Sanji and Usopp stuff to like do that. But like you're not guaranteed to land on Sanji Usopp every run. And the statues cap out at like what, 50%, 100%
I think it's
bonus.
50, I think it's 50 or 100% bonus now. Yeah, that's right.
So like there's just no way to naturally reach that kind of damage. Even like if you had damage that could exceed 1 trillion, I don't think there is a team that does 11 trillion damage.
It'd be it'd be very hard to build, and even if you could build one, probably the amount of investment required would be excessive to like most people. I think
it's the fact that you're not even using like boosted units.
No, that's what I wanted to get into.
Yeah,
like
it's just stupid.
The whole point of pulling on the boosters is to get additional drops. So now I'm getting to level 300. I'm having to use fucking Int Amand from when was she released, like 2017 maybe, you know, to get to this, to be successful. Like it's a very, and I get that they've had it in the new, like aside from just that alone, I think that going to level 200 is like where everyone should stop. Even getting to 150 is fine, because everything after 200 is like one gem and some bounty. So if you don't really care about that, then you can it's not worth it. For a lot of players like you and I, getting to 200 seems to just be like, you know, it's just go with the flow, you know. But I think the tough part is that how does that work when we don't have a month where it's 10.5 Annie, you know, units, and it's just regular end of month? Like, is it gonna be that easy? The other thing that I wanted to bring up as well was excuse me, they added in a new thing with the boosted units, or the end of month batch at least, where they give you so I think the Roger Rayleigh Gaban has a 50% chance to just give you a Hime turtle once you defeat the quest, which is, in principle, that's awesome. Really cool update, really great. However, in practice, it's only ever going to be assigned to like the legends and the rare recruits that release at the end of the month. And makes it hard. I mean, it's great for this month. You know, a bunch of us had a bunch of boosted units. A lot of us were able to successfully achieve that 30 Hime, you know, cap overall. But again, same premise. End of November most likely won't have a grandiose batch associated to it. There's been another
probably not
end of month batch.
Well, if we go back to last year's like November batch heading into December, I believe, was the Quick Hiyori and Quick Momo.
Yes. That Momo that everyone thought was dog shit. Then like 6 months later, I was like, wait a minute. He's actually kind of good. Hold up. Yeah, no, you're right. And I think that's kind of the tough part. You know, like I think that they need to really kind of like think, because even like a good point that was brought up as well was having a friend cap that doesn't boost the Hime, because if you own the unit or not, which is kind of funny. You know?
Yeah, that's kind of
exactly. So it's like, even if you bring a friend captain, you don't get that benefit of a 50% chance for an additional Hime. You just get nothing. You have to own the units.
And negatives to it, I guess, because like if you own the unit, it means you don't have to build a team around it.
Correct.
But
yes, very true.
Then if it's based on using the character, then you would get the benefits by using a friend captain. So yes. I feel like this whole system is just benefits, and it gives more incentives to doing pulls on the banner, which doesn't really help out the end player that much.
But then they detract from that because the units from the banner fall off like so quickly. Right. Like they even have you seen the stat boost this month? I think Roger Rayleigh Gaban got a 3.5x stat boost.
Yeah, like, that's crazy.
Which is so much extra damage. But then why can't they kill past 170 or 75 or whatever? Like it's this weird, it's this weird back and forth of it. I think like, I guess like the other part of it was that I didn't really notice that whole you're guaranteed turtles after 150 type beat as well. It just like meant that you weren't getting cola anymore, which is like
it wasn't that big of a difference. It
didn't really change much. Like
no.
I think like
they don't know what they're doing.
Really. PKA still shit. Like just do PKA, get the unit, like you know, try to get to 150, and then that's really it. Like you should.
I mean, speaking of shit game modes, have you been playing much of the co-op?
I fucking hate co-op. I think co-op is the worst. Co-op is the worst game mode in Treasure Cruise.
It is so painful. I basically have just conceded, like, I'm just gonna like do the bare minimum, just get enough gems to get the guaranteed unit, and I'm good, to be honest.
Yeah. No,
I
think
not be bothered.
Co-op fucking sucks. Like it actually does. I think co-op was such an airball. Like it was meant to be this really like cool way to play together and collaborate, and then they only made it for 7 days, like, you know, for the start of the month, and then they reduced it to only twice every 3 months, and it's like you know,
I don't know what they're doing.
It's so bad, dude. Like co-op is genuinely just this. Like it's so. I'm just. It's not fun. Like literally.
Yeah, it's not.
It's so
just,
boring.
Like you're playing against these randoms, and like they don't know what they're doing.
You're playing against them. That's a great way to put. You don't like. There's no like collaborate. And then people can make the argument saying, "Oh, just like, you know, play with friends and whatever." But it's like, even that's hard to like tee up. And then if you get the wrong, like, for example, like, okay, Todd and I hop into a co-op. He's trying to do the quick mission. I'm trying to do the strength mission. You know, we then get a boss that fucks both of us. All right, what a waste of potentially 15 minutes of our time gone.
That's, you know? I agree that probably would fix a lot if it was a set boss each time, so you knew what to expect. You could actually build for it.
Yep.
I feel like that would make it a little too easy, but I feel like if you just make the boss have like absurd levels of HP, that probably fixes it. Like make it a set. Like I get that every month they have a boosted chance of certain colored bosses
that's so
appearing.
Bullshit though. I hate that.
But it's just it's random. Like it basically is just random. Like
it's still random.
It's so dumb. Like they should just make a set piece of content. We know what to build for, and we build around that rather than it be random. Because building a team to beat the challenge for like whatever it was, like strength slasher free spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you go up against with someone else and they're trying to also complete another mission, it's really difficult. Usually the best way to do it is to build for the mission, and then someone else has like an actual good team to take on the content, and then that person just carries.
No, exactly right. And I think that the other portion of that is that they have like 10 bosses available for the Infinitium C. Just pick 3 of them. Like, you know, if for example, let's say if the missions are strength, dex, and quick, make the final bosses be the strength, dex, and quick variations. If the missions are inside, you know, strength, make them be inside dex. Like, you don't have to put all 10 in the game. Like, if it's a random mixture of 3 of them, it's like, okay, I can at least tailor my team to try to be able to defeat those 3. But having 10 of them, and we've beat this into the ground a million times for co-op, but co-op is the month that we didn't have co-op was actually bliss. It was so beautiful because it's just like, co-op is just not fun. And I think that's the sad part, is that I was really looking forward to this idea of, oh, Todd, let's make some videos of like us playing co-op together. And but in reality, it's actually not enjoyable to watch either. It's really not
boring.
fun. It's so
the
boring.
Same bosses every month, and the challenges are different to make new teams, but like
even
it's
then,
just not fun.
So what I have like a separate like Discord where it's just me and I dump a lot of information in there. I just have a channel in there called Co-op Teams, and it's just screenshots of like Dex, Striker, Cerebral, Int, Fighter, or Shooter. And I just go in there at the month, look at team. Oh, that works. Copy paste. Like, it's just so. Even then, it's like you can only do so many combinations of units and teams. Like, if it's, for example, if it's strength free spirit slasher, I'm just gonna build like a strength free spirit team, and that's gonna work for if it's strength free spirit slasher, if it's strength free spirit powerhouse, if it's strength free. You know, like that's kind of like, again, they kind of shoot themselves in the foot again, because it's not that challenging to build the team. It's more challenging to have to try to use the team alongside someone who potentially either has no idea what's going on, which is fair enough, or is also trying to do the challenge with the jank-ass team, and you now both have to struggle your way through it. I will say, adding the new stickers is great. No one fucking cares, though. Like, it's, you know,
they could have used those resources elsewhere.
It does not really matter. Like, you know, I'm still gonna be spamming the Jinbei. Let me handle this. Like, you know, the whole time. But in reality, it's like, hey, who cares, man? No, co-op isn't fun, and it's really sad though, because like, again, that's a massive resource sink. There was a lot of time and effort put into creating that game mode.
Systems,
And also to have like an online, you know, net code to actually connect people together through the jank-ass code of Treasure Cruise itself, and like so on and so on and so on. Like, it's kind of annoying, but I mean, you know,
it's really dumb. Like, bro, all we want is fucking like raids and coliseums or arenas, whatever the fuck, and they just won't give it to us.
Nah, exactly right. Instead, you get PKA, you get fucking co-op twice every 3 months, you get Blitz battle. Whoa. Have fun, and you know, so on and so on. The last thing I wanted to actually bring up was the Rumble Super Special, since that's becoming a little bit more prevalent, I suppose, as well. What were your thoughts? I don't know if you got the chance to use much of the Roger Elliott Gaban at all, but what are your thoughts on the Rumble Super Special?
I think at the moment it's really going to be down to like how difficult the condition is for them to be activated. And I feel like Roger and Roger Gang's special is pretty easily activatable, to be honest. Their special, once you get max level limit break, disgusting, is fucking absurd. Holy shit. Like a 60% health cut to everyone, massive damage, like a full heal. Like, it's such a busted ass special, and it just adds more incentives for people to do more pulls for dupes when they first come out.
That's it.
It's really stupid. But what even is also stupid that I don't understand why they're not doing is, why are they not releasing it for older units as well?
They should have, like, from day one, like the first 100 legends in the game should have got Rumble RSS straight away. Like, I don't like, and now the funny thing is, over the next like 2 years, they're gonna slowly trickle. It's like how they did level limit break and all that kind of stuff. Like, we've stopped in the past, like, oh, here's 6 units to get level limit break. Whoa, fuck! Now it's like, one a month. And it's like, but they're still like I'm looking at the list right now of like all the legends released. Obviously, Kung Fu Luffy's never gonna get anything done, which is fair enough. But then Luffy Law, Cyber Koala, V1 Vivi Becker, V1 Shira Mancherry, V1 Kaido, V3 Kuzan. Luffy Zoro, Sober Mask, all those units are still sat there, no level limit break. They were released in 2019, 2020. Like, surely you should just do a massive batch of them, at a time now, and go from there.
They're probably just not going to give them to them until they get a 6+,
which is,
right?
I think, is stupid at this point. Like, at least that's in my 2 cents. Like, for example, the new Perona, she got 6+, the Halloween Perona, I should say, 6+, level limit break. Then her 6-star got level break as well.
She's like a kind of a side grade.
Exactly, it's kind of odd, but like, I don't know. I think Rumble Super Special is going to be good when they actually start to give it to a bunch of units. I also would not be against them giving it to Rumble Rare Recruits should get him, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, good call.
Because like, again, another reason to. I mean, any Rumble Legend or Rumble Rare Recruit should get RSS. 100%.
I think at least initially they should give it to like the Rumble Rare Recruits that are really bad. Yeah, that it makes them a little bit more usable. Because I mean, if they gave one to like Pell, fucking King, Rebecca Toy Soldier, like no,
give one to
we
Pell,
don't need that.
mate. I'm so down. Pell, Cole.
Dude, Pell is so busted.
He's so fucking. That level limit break is fucked. It's so good, dude.
Like Dex Powerhouse is something.
I love that team that, like, I have Pizarro, San Juan, Wolf on it. It literally eats everything, which is great.
Yeah.
I think like over time I don't think it's going to really make much of a difference in terms of like Rumble meta and all that kind of stuff. Like, but I do think that it's a cool little approach to kind of shifting Rumble, but not completely overhauling it. So I think it's kind of a decent update in the grand scheme of things, but it lacks due to there not being any units that actually have the ability. I think the Kaido King and Big Mom Katakuri get it. Yeah, cool, but you're going to pull 9 copies of them? Or 10 copies, I suppose, in total? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
So that's that, I suppose. And that's all like the fun stuff. Now we have the onslaught of about 4 billion units that released. We'll do a bit of a speed run since like no one really wants to hear us talk about all these units for an extended period of time, I suppose. We'll start off with Halloween Uta, though, since we did discuss her a little bit in terms of like her potentially coming out, but then obviously she releases a legend to no one's fucking surprise. I mean, except mine crying about hoping that this was going to be a free to play unit, but instead they have to make their money. And it's a regular legend, which is good, very positive. So I guess what are your thoughts overall? I suppose.
I mean, we knew that this was going to be coming. We just were wondering, like, what is this character going to do? And I had a feeling that, like, Halloween Uta was going to be a character that would kind of outshine Roger Gang and be, like, a really powerful driver for the player base to spend their gems there instead of Roger Gang. But I feel like that kind of didn't happen because this character is just not that good. I was expecting a lot more from this character, but unfortunately, this character just... It's a little clunky the way that they want you to use her. I mean, she does boost a lot of different units, Dex, Int, Driven, and Cerebral. But then she's got like gimmicks in her kit which are focused on hitting good and then good in a row, which is just like very, very weird. And then she has like the weird effect in her captain where it's like if you launch her special when she's got 50% or less HP, she removes 5 turns of enemy's blue shield and 5 turns of attack down. But just make her remove those gimmicks anyway. Like, why do you have to use a special when she's below 50% in order to remove them? Like, just make her remove attack down and make her special also remove defense up. Or make her super type remove defense up, whatever it is. Like, it's just super, super clunky. I just don't really see myself ever using this character.
No.
I guess one point of difference with this character is that it does remove silence. The silence debuff, not special bind, but the other silence. The very rare one that came out recently. So that's cool. That could have some future use cases, but realistically speaking, this is just another character that's going to be collecting dust in the character box, I feel.
Yes, and I think that the only positive that I see from this unit is that they're an end of month legend, or not end of month, which is a regular batch legend, which is good.
Right.
That's the only thing I really care about, because otherwise, like, I don't really care. Like, I guess we can chat about the Blitz a little later, but using, like, if you not having this unit in like 4 Blitz was like toxic. You had to
you had to use it as a friend.
you had to use it as a friend, and then what was the team that I had to use? I was like using Roger Rayleigh Gaban, which was obviously I was very lucky to have them. Then I had like Perona, and like on like stage 3, I had to swap like Roger Rayleigh Gaban out of the captain, put Perona in the captain, do some jank, and then at the end of it, I had to like swap them to cancel the captain to bring them back into the, and it was just like, fuck, man. It was just so much jank. So having the Uta obviously was really important. I don't, to be honest with you, I just don't care. Like, I just think like, you know, like.
I will say about that Blitz was kind of stupid is like they brought out the Perona level limit break like when the Sugo dropped or when the event went live. And the thing is like the Perona with max level limit break was like required in order to beat it effectively because she removed damage nullification.
No,
with
that
the
was
special.
Yes, I remember.
And she doesn't do it if she doesn't have the max investment. So people were like messaging me like, I'm using the exact same team as you. How come I can't get through it? It's like, the level limit break.
Yeah. Because I didn't realize that either. And then I just want to say I actually didn't know that Two Shanks made a new database. So shout out to Two Shanks, by the way. He's
I only just found out yesterday.
Low-key carrying the Treasure Cruise community on his back right now, or their back, I should say. Sorry. So, you know, shout out to them. But like, I was like, because I built a team. Like, because like, what was it? I used like the in-game filters, and I was like, who removes damage now? Because I was like typing out like what the bosses do, and I was like, who removes damage now? And I saw that Perona was. I was like, sick. No, I was used Perona, blah blah blah. I built the team, it worked. And then I remember I posted the team in like, in the Stump Alliance. And then one of the guys in the Itachi was like, Perona does not remove damage now. And I'm like, yes, she does. Like, I was getting mad. And then I realized, like, oh, fuck, it's actually a level limit break that does that. Not like her as a base value of a unit. And I was like, shit, man.
Got him.
Which is funny as, but I hold that, which is cool. But no, I agree. I think Uta's kind of whatever. I don't know. I think great art, really cool animation, you know, all that kind of stuff is really, really pretty. But the unit's kind of whatever. I think that she can kind of sneak her way onto the Dex team, so long as you're not running the Dex powerhouse kind of variant of the team. I suppose
that is the best version of Dex. I feel.
Yeah, which is the reality, right? Yeah, 100%. But you know,
she's an interesting unit for sure.
Absolutely.
I guess if you don't have the applicable Dex powerhouse units and you're building just mono Dex, not focusing on classes, then it's an option. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, what do you think out of 10 though, I suppose?
I'd probably give it like a 6 or a 7 in that range. Like, I'm just not excited.
Yeah, I agree
at all.
If I pick her up on like New Year's, hell yeah, like hella cool. Otherwise, like, I don't care. Like, you know, it's like it is what it is, you know.
We do not care.
We do not care. Other things the only thing I care about is this lovely little Perona, man. Oh my days, the artwork is gorgeous.
So good.
I'm absolutely gorgeous. But hey, Todd, guess what? Where do you get her skulls from? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, that's a real head scratcher. That one.
Where do you get her skulls from, dude? I played the Blitz. They weren't there. I'm playing Rumble right now. They're not there. Just do you know where you buy? Like, I checked the shops.
Stupid.
I checked nothing, because fucking hell, why would they do this? It doesn't make any sense at all, dude.
It's the exact same during 10th anniversary with the Dex Super 10.
Literally the exact same. Like, and we didn't get that unit for how long? Like 2-3 months afterwards or some bullshit like that?
Until the Memories of Straw Hats was finished.
Yes.
So probably once the banner leaves, we'll probably get a mail. It's like, oh, here's the skulls.
Here's the skulls. Teehee. Like, what the fuck? Like you know?
As if they didn't add them as a reward for playing the Blitz, because like that's another incentive for people to actually play the Blitz. Yeah, but it's just dumb. They just don't know what the fuck they're doing.
No, exactly right.
Seriously,
it's so frustrating. Like, the unit, I don't know, like, I think, I haven't actually read much about the unit, but you were mentioning a side grade, which is kind of odd. Like, how's that working, I suppose?
She was a free spirit shooter, and now she becomes a driven shooter.
Why?
I don't get it. Maybe that was another incentive for them to, like, maybe you could pull for the unit, so that, like, you could have 2 copies of the character. The character also has weird HP conditions for their effect, where like you got to be below 50% in order to make the chain effect last for 3 turns.
Sure, yeah.
Whereas the normal Halloween Perona just makes it last for 3 turns anyway. I think you have to be below 80%, but it's a chain lock. But this one with the evolution, it's a boundary instead, which of course gets you more damage.
Yep.
But the character is mostly similar with some very slight changes to HP conditions, and then being a boundary instead of a lock is the main differences, and the classes, of course. The character also shifts in Rumble from being int focused to being shooter focused, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But the special is like not that great. I know some people used Halloween Perona a while back on like defense teams, but realistically, not a great character. Has a good Rumble ability, but the special just doesn't carry.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
I would rank this probably in the same tier as like the Halloween Uta, to be honest. Like,
I think so.
The character is fine. You could use her to get really cool conditional boosts and stuff, but I mean, in high damage content, conditional boosts are plenty. We have a lot of those. So
yeah. Plus, like in high damage content, you're just using like either like a Blackbeard powerhouse team because all those units are very synergistic, or you're using like the Free Spirit Zoro Sanji, some form of Luffy like type beat as well with Yamato chucked in there. And like, so it's really hard for units to kind of step in there and actually get like become beneficial. But I mean, I can't wait to get the skull so I can super evolve her. That's
just to have the artwork.
Yeah, that's it. I just want the unit as the artwork. Otherwise, fucking, I don't care, man. This is what are they doing, man? What are they doing, man?
I don't understand.
I just think like there was no like in all honesty, as much as like I love Uta as a character, I hate the fact that they've like rammed units down our throat for so long over like 3 years. I honestly would have preferred, hypothetically, if Uta was the 10.5 Annie unit, then no Roger Rayleigh Gaban, and then releases Perona the same way. It would be kind of shitty, but it is what it is. Instead, you get like, what was it? I think I have it up here. You get Roger Rayleigh Gaban on the 26th of October. You get Halloween Uta on the 30th of October. And then now we're getting Kaido King and Big Mom Katakuri on the 11th of November. PST time, obviously. Like, it just...
4 legends in like 2 weeks.
Pretty much. And then chuck on, in October we got Pizarro. We got V2 Kobe. We got Shiryu. And then we also got Roger Rayleigh Gaban and Uta. So what was that? 5 legends? 6 legends for 4 legends? Too many.
Way too much, yeah.
Which is great. To kind of to keep on our little train here, just briefly, Pirate Rumble Rare Recruit Tsuru. Whatever. The nice shooter buffs. Get the gums out. That's the only reason I'm bringing her up.
Hey yo.
She can get the gums out whenever she wants, mate. No problem. From our end here. Shout out Knight. That's probably where he is right now. Probably thinking about Tsuru.
Damn.
Look, I think it's cool. A couple more buffs to shooter is obviously great. But I mean, again, they're still lacking a lot. And obviously you have units like the Dex, Frankie and Usopp provide a lot of value as well. Even like other units like S-Bear can make a shout there and all that kind of stuff, but it's like they're still lacking, which is par for the course there for a lot of Rumble teams. But I mean, rare recruits that aren't just like Free Spirit or Powerhouse focus is obviously great regardless. It's going to be beneficial to keep building out new possible teams in the grand scheme of things. So very cool.
Not the worst Rumble unit.
Not the worst Rumble unit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Todd, a free-to-play unit in my Treasure Cruise game? Grand Fee Zoro 5+, dude. Well, even though it's a pseudo free-to-play unit.
Pseudo free-to-play. Yeah, I'd almost consider it free-to-play.
I'm considering it free-to-play because we need to get those numbers up. Those are the rookie numbers, mate. Get them free-to-play numbers up. What do you think? First of all, everyone's gassing it up. The art is crazy. Like
artwork goes
for a free-to-play unit, it's fucked. That's so cooked. And then
but for the unit,
it's
it's essentially a mini V1 Kaido. Much.
That's what I kind of got to as well.
Yeah, a mini V1 Kaido with a super class is pretty much what it is. The super class is actually pretty good. Giving a territory, so that could be kind of useful. And it also gives a final tap damage bonus. Kind of neat. But the special is kind of eh. The captain is pretty eh.
Yeah.
The character in Rumble is also pretty I guess if you don't have any other good int characters, you could use it. He is int driven, so that's a
Yeah,
cool
true,
combo at
true, true,
least.
true. Slasher driven, yeah. I don't know. Like, it's kind of just an odd, like, it's just a very odd unit, I suppose. Like, like I think it's cool. It's just been kind of weird because like all of the Grand Feast units now have been what, Yamato, Hiyori, and then Zoro.
Yep.
So we're just Wano, baby. But like I think that what we missed out on. Oh, I actually didn't put it here, but yeah, I guess we'll talk about it in other news. But do some cool shit. I don't know, like really, like Zoro. Like I know it's cool, the art's cool and all that kind of stuff, but like give some like put like fucking like Tenguyama or some shit here. Like I don't know, like do some units that are like a bit obtuse or different. Like there's so many Zoros in the game, and I understand it's Zoro from Straw Hats, but it's like this. I think things like Kazuna's super bosses where you get the 5+s and like and obviously for like any sort of free to play unit should not be a main stake character. They should just be unique style characters that don't have a lot of representation in the game. And then you don't have to make it so like, oh, it's Zoro, so it works with Luffy. Like, I don't care. Fucking release like, like I said, do a Tenguyama that's a slasher driven unit, and then have him work based upon classes and stuff like that too. I get the whole point of like super tandems and final taps and super classes and stuff like that's cool and all, but I think it's kind of frustrating that they don't really go down the route of releasing more like unique characters. And I mean, Zoro. Like you're gonna use this for TM because it's a boosted unit, and then you're never gonna touch this character again. Let's be real with ourselves.
The character doesn't even have a support. Like, bro.
I did notice that. Like when I was doing the screenshots for Twitter, I clicked on the support and I was like, oh, it's just stats. Sick. Yep. Like, great. That's such a, like, again, missed opportunity.
At least the Yamato that we got earlier in the year, support. At least that had a good support that released with the Roger. Like, it was a perfect unit to use with it. So it's weird that the Zoro doesn't have like a support that attaches to a like at least like an int slasher, so you could use it on Roger Gang, and it does like some effect. But no, we don't.
Exactly. Like I think like even like a support. Imagine a support that gave like 10% final tap boost on the final stage or something like that. I don't know, like
like really good. Something like that. Yeah,
that'd work out really well. But look, like I think you put it perfectly when we talked about Cop a little earlier. At this point, like getting enough stones to do 5 multis to guarantee yourself a copy of this unit is kind of all that matters. I get the whole point of like level limit. Actually, the funny part is, I mean, the units don't even have level limit break. So like, I mean, who knows when they're going to get them in the first place? So do you really need to grind out for like those 9 additional copies to get them to level limit break 5? Plus, this unit doesn't have final tap, rush, or super tandem. So you don't even, duplicates are kind of irrelevant for this
even
unit.
A free to play rush would have been pretty cool.
That would have been so sick, actually. I agree. 100%. I agree. Put on like, what have we had? We've had rush taps on 1, 2, 6. I don't know if we've had them on. No, we've had 3, 4. I think we've had 3, 4.
Because Kaido was 2 and 3.
Kaido's 2 and 3. I don't know if we've had 4 or 5 yet.
We haven't.
So this would have been perfect. Like to just slot in there, put them on like 4 or 5. Something different. Why not? Right.
Yep.
It is what it is, though. Cool. All right, Todd.
Yes.
It's your time to shine, mate. Slam Jam finally gets a unit in Treasure Cruise after a long ass time. How do you feel about that one?
It was crazy. I was just chilling in bed watching some TV, and then like I knew it was news time, but I didn't bother to check to see whether there was any news or not. And then Carissa's like, "Oh, there's a new Kaido and King Legend." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's pretty neat. That's nice."
Oh, and shit, then I was getting
ready out of bed and go make a video, and then she's like, "Oh, and there's a new Katakuri and Big Mom." And I like rush to the computer. I'm like, "What? There's a new Katakuri?
Let's go. Like, super excited.
I was, because we hadn't had a Katakuri legend since Katakuri Oven last year.
Yep.
And I was like, well, I think we're kind of due for a Katakuri. I was kind of hoping they were going to wait for New Year's. That would have been pretty sick. But hey, we finally got a Katakuri, so I'm excited nonetheless. Unfortunately, I don't feel like this character's that great.
They're not that good.
He gets shafted all the fucking time, man.
Dude. Every time.
Like, the only Katakuri that was good, like actually good on release, was like V2. Like the Psy V2 one was probably like really good. He was actually really good on release.
I agree.
But then like every other Katakuri that's released has been like
low
pretty
key
mid.
The best Katakuri to this day, I think, is the strength V1 strength, because the level limit break is broken. It's so good.
Like it's funny because like the level limit break of the strength one
is better than the
Ip
one.
Yeah, it's better than his evolution. Like, it's so dumb. It makes no dumb. Just but further solidifies that they don't know what they're doing.
Exactly right. I guess overall, what's the vibe? What is the unit? How do you feel about the unit?
The unit's got some very interesting mechanics. It has the ability to just generate Semla slots.
Yes.
And it has the really cool effect in the kit. I can't remember. Oh yeah, it's in the special.
Yeah.
Where you can perform super tandems with Semla slots.
Yep.
Like, what the hell? And then it also gives you a full board of Semla.
It's really cool. I like that. I think going forward, having units be like for if they ever release a new Shirahoshi, having rainbow slots count for tandem. If they release any more Wano units, which obviously they're going to, having Wano slots count for tandem. I don't know if they release another fucking Lao G, having G slots, count, like having these dude, even bomb slots. Like imagine if that versus kid did that with bomb slots or something like that. Yeah. It would be so much better.
They release a new Akainu with strength slots.
Exactly right. Like having units change. Like obviously we've had the mechanic of changing the multiplier of the slot. Like that's also a really cool like damage buff. That's awesome. But now that we're doing this with the tandem slots, I think that they need to really run on this train a lot further and start doing it with like, again, another Gear 5 Luffy, let's say, I don't know, his strength or whatever, and strength slots now can be considered tandem slots, or, maybe strength slots take on the attributes of a Wano slot. They can't be removed or something like that too. Like that's the kind of cool stuff we want to see going forward. But yeah, I really like that idea of the Semla slots being tandem slots.
That's really cool, actually. Yeah, it's a neat effect, but it's just unfortunate that the character just doesn't like do much else with the special. It does remove despair, could be pretty cool. It provides an orb boost, which is like fine. The captain ability does a lot though. It makes a lot of slots beneficial. It gives you healing, damage reduction, and then anytime you take damage, it does a defense down to the opponent. Like that's actually pretty neat. That could be pretty useful. But that's you only get that effect when you're in. It only happens when you're in the Katakuri form or in the dual form.
Right. So okay.
You have to be very careful about when that comes up, and unfortunately, it does go through full immunity, which is cool. But it's only 70%, so it's usually probably not good enough to just have this as the defense reduction to get through a blue shield. We'll see. We might have to do some testing on it, but the character is focused around damage reduction, healing, lots of matching slots, and then providing an orb boost, full board of matching slots. It does have Captain Shift. I think I'm actually a really big fan of Captain Shift. I think it's really cool.
It has made dual units a little bit like more interesting in the way that they're approached as well. Like I think it's a really cool mechanic.
Captain Shift will only be useful on characters that actually have usable captain abilities. Because as it stands right now, like the fact that you can captain switch into Roger Gang and resist bind, like that's incredible.
Yes.
And we'll talk about the other character in a moment, but I feel like that character has a lot of potential for Captain Shift. But this guy, when you use it as a captain, doesn't really provide much. It's just a big beat stick that has damage reduction and healing. That's the way that I kind of see it, which is disappointing because I was expecting a lot more from this character. At least the switches are actually kind of cool for this unit.
Yeah, I agree.
And the Captain Shift effect it's pretty neat, but yeah, it's just underwhelming. It just doesn't do enough for me personally.
No, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I think the other cool part is their final tap, which is a very weird thing for us to be saying on this show since we've always bagged out the final tap. They have a similar final tap to that of Yamato, but I think Yamato's one goes up to 200%, whereas this one goes up to
150%,
150,
I think.
Which is still good.
It's
like,
still a lot of damage.
And like it's a really easy effect at the final battle. Have a recovery Semla or Wano slot. I mean, You know, it's very straightforward. I think if you captain shift them, they give themselves a Wano. A tandem slot, which turns into Sembler when you become captain anyway.
And their special gives a full board of Sembler.
Yeah, 100%. And then it does a bunch of damage. So what is it? Boost the base attack, which is stackable, and then boost crew's attack based on 150% of the damage reduction effect applied, which is cool.
And they give 70% damage reduction with the shift switch, I think.
There you go. Yeah. So
yes, 70%, which is 140%. So it's like what 1.4 times or no, 2.4 times.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like exactly. Yeah. So like it's a lot of damage output that the final tap does, and obviously
135, I think 135 percent bonus. So yeah, like, it's decent.
Exactly. And then looking at like what Yamato does with her final tap, like. It's a lot of damage output, but is that the
thing with Yamato though is that she has the ability to like buff the final tap bonus with the switches and her captain ability, which adds so much more damage. This character doesn't have that.
Very true, very true.
Yeah.
Good point. Rumble thoughts?
Interesting, very interesting character in Rumble. Pretty good defensive focused Rumble ability. Has the ability to revive as well. So that's pretty neat. The special ability is like just okay, but when you have a super Rumble special, it is way more buffed because the base special as it stands, it's only a 50% chance for half defense on all enemies. But I believe with the Super Rumble special, it turns into 100% chance. And it might be all stats, not just defense. I can't remember correctly. So that's a big bonus. The damage is increased as well.
Oh, it's half defense.
So
half defense.
It's still half defense. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no. But yeah, the fact that
targets all enemies for 100% chance of half attack, targets self for attack up. Okay. So half defense and then has a chance. I get 50% chance for half defense and then has 100% chance of half attack. There you go. So it's those two.
Okay. But it is a 23 CT. Like that's
that's the big point.
Suppose. It's pretty easily to activate it. So the character's just fine. Like this character doesn't feel like anniversary exclusive level. This feels like normal monthly legend release level, in my opinion.
Like I think it's slightly elevated, just to some degree. Like
it has captainship.
I think that's the big part, is the whole new mechanic. That's kind of what they do on these half Annies. Like I think the first ever half Annie was the Kaido versus Big Mom, you know. And like you know, you kind of go from there. I'm a Big Mom for half Annie. There you go. I think my biggest pet peeve, which obviously doesn't matter, is that the fact that they don't have GP. Like it's a really
what are they doing?
Yeah, like I get, and the funniest part is that we didn't talk about it, but in the most recent Grand Party, they completely nerfed out Luffy entirely by reducing int to -2 Rumble specials, which kind of like coincidentally also ruined every other int unit as well at the same time, which is kind of cringe. Just outright ban the Luffy. Like just ban him as a character. You can't use this character. Why not? Right?
Int Luffy is a mistake. I mean, Psy Luffy, if you're going up against it, you can still beat it if you just outpace your damage compared to them. But against Int Luffy, he charges the special when he takes damage. So when you are getting further ahead, he has this comeback mechanic of his GP burst, and it just does too much freaking damage.
Exactly. I just don't like, especially because this unit is an exclusive character, and is an Annie exclusive character at that as well. You should be
all
giving
the other ones have it, right?
That's what I thought. I thought they did as well.
I'm pretty sure they even Kirby and stuff. I'm pretty sure Kirby did.
Hold on, let me see here. Does Roger Rayleigh Gaban have it?
Roger Rayleigh Gaban does not have GP.
Why though? Like I don't understand, right? Like these are meant to be your big hitters. These are the selling points, right? Like you might as well give them, I'm not going to say meta defining or meta shifting mechanics, but at least give them something, you know,
right?
But I guess like overall, like what do you like? I guess out of 10, what are you thinking?
I mean, they're better than Halloween Uta and Perona. Yeah, true. That's something. I'd probably give them maybe like a mid-7s, maybe.
I think this unit,
mid-7s.
I don't think you pull for the unit. I don't know. Like, I think it's tough. I want to pull because like obviously it's an exclusive character, but it's like, is the juice worth the squeeze at the same time? And I don't like, I might do a couple multis because this is the TM banner. You never know, right? Also, funny part as well with the TM banner, part 3 comes out like, I think it's like 7 hours before TM or something like that, or like I think it comes out like, as soon as TM's started. I don't know, some bullshit.
That's so stupid.
But yeah, like I want to pull for the unit because obviously, yeah, exclusivity, but at the same time, it's like I don't think it's worth it.
No, I mean we're so close to New Year's at this
Exactly.
point. You might as well just wait.
And then plus, Global Annie will most likely have these characters available. If not, JP Annie will as well.
I just checked. Annie Kobe did have GP.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. That's very interesting then. Like I don't know why it's such a peculiar kind of thing. Who knows? I guess in that case, jump over to Kaido and King. Yes, go, dude.
Now, this is a fucking character right here. This guy's a beast.
We're back to Wano, like baby.
Oh yeah, baby, more
Wano, baby. Let's go, baby. Fucking hell, they can't think of. Oh, One Piece being on break for 6 months is gonna fuck Treasure Cruise so much, dude. Oh no, so many fucking Wano units gonna come. What's the vibe? What's the general vibe of this character?
Now, this character I like a lot more than the Katakuri and Big Mom, unfortunate as that is to say, because this character is mainly focused on doing damage, and not only does he do good damage, but it also has pretty good utility as well. The fact that he has the effect in his captain, which says whenever you take damage or whenever you tap with a Wano slot, then inflict the enemy with a debuff. That's a little bit different from Big Mom Katakuri because he would only inflict the debuff when he takes the damage. This character is both proactive and reactive, so it's just a better captain effect. And also the effect in the captain where it says it removes this character's own bind, despair, special bind, and paralysis, like what Alba does. Like that's just so good. And the fact that when you activate Captain Switch, like you can make your sub Alba become Kaido, and then the next turn you can switch back to Alba and still keep him as the captain, so you can actually still remove all those debuffs.
True.
This character is just infinitely better as a captain compared to the Katakuri and Big Mom. The other thing that I really love about this unit, good crewmate abilities, resist special cooldown, reverse, and special bind. And then also gives your units -1 cooldown at the start of the fight, so just gives you more cooldown, which is good.
Yep.
And then the special ability just provides also some nice stuff, just more damage increase, chain multiplicative buffs. And the super class is what I really like about this unit. The super class has the option to remove Captain Swap, which is cool for the shift units. But then removes special bind by 7 and gives special cooldown -2 to Driven Powerhouse. So this super type just giving -2 cooldown and 7 turns of special bind removal is crazy OP.
Yeah. It also like I think like what you bring up with that captain shifting is the cool part about it, I suppose. Pop this guy into captain shift, pop the spec, like you get the super class, use the super class, remove the special bind, a cooldown. You can then you can remove them out of the captain swap as well. That I like. That's the kind of cool part of the captain shift mechanic where it's like being able to and that's like what were the units like in the the OG strength Annie Kobe having the whole like captain swapping mechanics, and in general like a few of there was like a period of time there where we had captain swapping, put someone in captain, pop their super class super type, bring them back out like. That's the cool part. Obviously, it's a bit more like hands-on mechanically. Like you have to do a little bit more. But like super classes and super types, obviously the best part about them is that they avoid the whole well, it's not preemptive. It's when like what's it called? When the boss if you do an attack boost, the boss like fucks you.
The interrupt.
Interrupt, that's the word, sorry. Like it kind of avoiding the interrupts with like those with super class, super types, EXs and stuff as well. Like it's a a kind of cool way to approach it. So I'm a big fan of the super class for sure.
Yes. This character is very strong, and we talked about the fact that he can inflict the ignite status as the captain, and then his shift special inflicts a conditional boost against ignited, so self-proccing ignite conditional boost through immunity. Super powerful. Chain related buffs. He does 1 million fixed damage through everything, including normal attacks only. He does do end of turn damage as well,
which is great.
bind removal as a captain. So he resists bind as a captain when you're in the Alba form or dual form, and then the special also removes bind.
Cool.
That combined with the super class to remove special bind by 7 and cool. Like he just does utility, damage. He just does a bunch of stuff. The only thing this character doesn't really do effectively is orb change, but his shift special, his shift switch effect does give adjacent slots Wano, and the normal switch gives himself a Wano slot. So there is some semi-orb change, but when you already do so much stuff, I mean, that's not really that big of an issue, honestly. This character's really, really strong.
Nah, yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I think, like, this is if you had to pick on which banner to pull on, don't pull on part 1. That's the first, obviously, that's the first point. I'd be probably pulling on this part.
Yeah, this character's way better.
Is so much better, which, again, is a shame for the old Slammingtons, because he has to hold that too. But, like, what is it? Like, I guess like, the only downside is, like, yeah, because this is part 2, which is actually kind of good. So that comes out November 12th, 1900 PST.
What's the bet? There's going to be a Kizuna with a new Annie exclusive.
Oh, absolutely, no, 100%, 100%.
It's going to be a Super Boss Kizuna too, so probably
100% right.
Yeah,
like, look, I think I'm a fan. I think I like the unit. I like the unit a lot. I guess, like, in the how do you feel about the Rumble? We should say both these units do have Rumble super special, but, like, you know, it is what it is.
And the character super tandem is pretty, like,
true.
Middle of the road.
I agree.
2.25 attack boost, 1,000 base attack boost to the last tap character. So yeah,
it's kind of cringe,
pretty basic.
Kind of like, you know, it is what it is. It's 3 units required.
Yeah,
it has Blackbeard and Shanks as part of the tandem, which is kind of weird. Has Kanjuro, Orochi, Big Mom. Yeah, why does it have Shanks and Blackbeard? Obviously, the rare recruits. Yeah, okay. I was like, wait a minute, what the hell?
They're the 4 emperors.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I was like, what the fuck? That makes no sense. Oh, okay, now I understand. Yeah, how do you feel about the Rumble
though? The Rumble's pretty okay. The Rumble ability is the weak point, I feel, for this unit. It just attack, HP, speed, blow away. It's like fine. No defense, unfortunately. No CT speed up, anything like that. But the special ability is pretty strong. It does do some defense and attack increase, speed increase, and then 3 times damage in a large range. And if you've got 6 or more driven or powerhouse units, it does a further 4 times damage to all enemies. So the fact that this character doesn't do damage through defense or fixed damage means that the character is probably not going to be good when you get the unit. The character is probably only going to be good when you get further investments into the character, or you supplement this character with a bunch of defense down units, because you know, if you get a unit at level 99, the amount of damage you're doing is just not going to be comparable, especially when you're going up against a lot of other characters that have investments with level limit break and stuff. So flat damage numbers, they seem good on paper, but when you actually use them against invested characters, they just don't hit as hard. So unless they've got like a health cut, fixed damage, or damage through defense, it's probably not going to matter that much. So I feel like at the moment, this character is probably not going to do too much. But if people are able to get investments, this character is going to be a monster, honestly. Yeah. And the special just gets buffed even further with the super special.
No, I agree 100%. I think the only saving grace of this unit is driven powerhouse. Like, I think that there, I think that there is opportunity, like, there. Like, I know that I think Stump, fuck that guy, was like mentioning a bit, like, driven powerhouse still needs a lot of support to kind of build out a really crazy team. But I feel like with units like, again, Alvaro Pizarro, which actually turned out to be one of the better, like, Rumble legends we have at them, like, you know, which is kind of weird, and that kind of stuff. Like, it's there is definitely room for them to succeed, but yeah, it is a matter of more support, which, you know, seems to be par for the course all the time. And again, no GP, which is kind of cringe overall. You know,
very
but it is
cringe.
What it is. What would you give this unit out of 10?
I'd probably, at the moment, without having the unit or testing it, just on paper, I would probably give this unit like a 9 out of 10.
I would agree. I think they're going to be very, very good, and I think you are right in the sense that Captain Shift is going to make them even better. And I think just in general, Captain Shift on dual units will be really good going forward.
Yeah.
I think honestly,
as long as there's a reason to use them as a captain, like if they've got utility, so you could like preemptively switch into the captain. You know, you do what you need to do, get around a gimmick, and then you can switch it out for another captain later on. Like, it's just super cool.
Yeah, I think I honestly think that that super swap is like just shit now. I think I'd prefer to always have captain shift as opposed to super swap. at this
As
point.
long as they have good
Good captain ability. I think that the only caveat is that the units need to have some sort of way to get out of the captain with whether that's super class or
they remove it.
Or like a special or something. There needs to be some way to remove it or get out of captain. I think that's the important part that for these units going forward.
They kind of do, because like when you're in the captain spot, you can switch again, and then if you're Kaido going into king, you can go back to the sub.
You can move out. Yeah, true. Good point.
There are ways, but then you could also as you said, the super class also removes captain swap. So they've actually got multiple ways to do it, which is kind of cool.
I agree, 100%. Awesome. I don't know if we need to give PKA Vegapunk 5+ his own segment, but he's out. Cool.
I will say that PKA Vegapunk is one of the better free-to-play units we've had,
I agree.
this year.
I agree.
This unit is really good.
Honestly, low-key, a lot of the PKA 5+s have actually been quite decent this year. Which has been
Ace
really good.
has been pretty useful.
Ace, Arlong has been so useful. Dude,
Arlong is the GOAT. Holy, I think him with the Hody support. Oh my god!
I'll give a little teaser. Obviously, one of the award categories is best free to play. I don't know, man. I think Arlong has a shout to win. Like, going
at the moment, Arlong would be my pick too.
What have we got here? I'm trying to find best free to play. Yeah, you got we are actually, again, for another insight, we are going to count the exchange units for free to play because technically they are. But you have Strength Whitebeard was there. In Jinbei, Psy-Kobe, X-Drake. Then you also had Dex Luffy was really good. That Dex Blackbeard, kind of decent. Then you have Mihawk, Arlong, Moria. Yeah, that Arlong, though, honestly, cracked.
The free-to-play PK unit's actually not terrible.
Yeah, no, I agree.
A lot of them are actually pretty good.
No, I agree. Even the Psy Beppo was really good. The Ace, broken, like, really, really good as well. Like, overall.
The Mihawk had his uses, yeah.
I don't think that Arlong is so cracked purely because
he was used for multiple months.
The stun, removing stun is so good.
They gave us so much stun, and a lot of the batches were like powerhouse focused or slasher focused, and he was just like he slotted onto all those teams. He was just amazing.
Exactly
so perfect.
Right. It is funny.
And he actually had a good special too.
His artwork being like his 5-star artwork being him standing up, then his 5+ him being sitting down is hilarious though. It's so good. Nice little shift there. That's it for Treasure Cruise stuff overall, though. There's a few things in other news that we'll kind of leave off there, but, being an hour into the show, there you go, guys. For those Treasure Cruise fanatics, there's your little fix for your. In terms of, like, off-topic stuff or just in general stuff, two big, like, I know, obviously, when Flame comes back next episode, we'll talk about Metaphor and all that kind of stuff, going forward. But the two kind of games that kind of released that, Todd's been dabbling in have both been the JJK mobile game and TCG Pocket. I think we'll start with the JJK mobile game. What's been the vibe there? How you been enjoying it or not enjoying it, I suppose?
I've been enjoying it so far. It's actually kind of interesting. The game has been out in Japan for pretty much a full year. It came out in November last year, and ever since it released in Japan, everyone's been asking, like, when's it come to global? When's it come to global? So it's literally, we had to 12 months until the game came out. So it's finally out now. They're giving out quite a lot of stuff when you start the game. The cool thing is when you start the game, when you go to the gacha section, there is a free ticket, and you can literally keep refreshing the ticket over and over again until you get the character that you want.
Okay, that's cool.
And there is a Satoru Gojo that is in the game, and he is by far and away the best character in the game, and even in Japan standards, a year ahead, he's still the best character in the game. So that's
this is Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade or whatever it's called, or is that something different? Yeah, okay. Oh wow, Phantom Parade. September and May 1.6. This is only they don't have the global stats yet, but in Japan, 1.6 mil in September, 1.4 mil in October. Not bad.
They did announce already in game on the global version. The game's only been out for 2 days. That they've already reached top grossing, so they're giving out a free multi tomorrow. I
feel like JJK is kind of similar to Dragon Ball Z, where outside of Japan it is insanely obviously still very popular in Japan, but in terms of mainstay anime, I feel like it's insanely popular outside of Japan as well.
I was kind of shocked that because Demon Slayer was the thing where Demon Slayer when it came out the manga was popping. It was literally more popular than One Piece.
Yep.
And I'm surprised they didn't capitalize making a gacha for Demon Slayer. Like I think they were going to release one, or they're still in development or
I
something.
feel like it's still in development, but it's a bit late now, aren't they? In the final,
that ship has sailed.
they're in like the final arc of the actual show. Like it's like 3 movies or some shit. Like it's a bit over.
Yeah, so JJK's been really fun. Getting a character for free that's the best character in the game is amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
And the first like a main like side event thing in the game, it's kind of interesting because it's basically Kizuna Clash.
Oh my god.
So basically there's like a story mode. You complete all the missions. When you complete the story mode, every time you beat one of the islands, you get a currency.
Okay.
That currency is then used to take on a main boss. And then when you beat the main boss, you get tickets to use in the shop. And every time you spend it, there's a pool of rewards. Once you get the main reward, you can go to the next box, which has more rewards in it. It's literally 1-for-1 Kizuna.
Bro left Treasure Cruise to go back to Treasure Cruise. That's crazy. Oh no.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's so funny though.
Yeah,
that's good. That's awesome. Like I think
so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hopefully it maintains popularity. I think it will be at least initially. And the Jujutsu Kaisen Film Zero characters with Uta and stuff, they're going to be coming out I think early December. So that's what most people are saving towards at this point. But yeah, I guess a lot of fun.
Always the 2 questions I generally ask you when you play a new gacha game. 1, do you see yourself playing it in the long term? Like right now, I suppose.
At the moment, it really depends on the support of the game. So it's kind of funny. Around this time last year was when that Black Clover game came out, and everyone was like super excited for it. But then what they did was with the English version, they kind of fast tracked everything, and they released like units too quickly, and people just kind of fell out of love with it. So I feel like they have to be very careful, not release things too quickly, give people enough time to save, and then people will kind of get hooked naturally. But JJK is so popular. I feel like it should be more popular than Black Clover, at least in.
You'd hope so. You'd assume so, at least.
In the West. So I'm expecting the game to be at least popular for at least the next couple of months at a bare minimum.
And then the other question is, are you going to make content?
Yeah, I probably will be moving forward. We'll see what the events are like. But at the moment, yeah, I do plan on making some videos for JJK.
Awesome, super positive.
Hell yeah.
Very very cool. That was that section. Okay, we're all here for Pokemon. Let's be realistic with ourselves here.
Pocket, let's go.
TCG Pocket came out officially. I know Todd got the pre-release version, but like no. But it officially came out like a couple of days ago. I didn't know it came out. I just went on Twitter and I saw everyone was downloading it. I was like, oh fuck yeah, let's go. It's really well made. Like I'm very shocked.
Oh yeah.
I'm very shocked because Nintendo. I think it's like developed by Dino who make Master Sex. And then it's got Creatures Inc. and then all that kind of stuff as well are involved in it too. But I guess what are your thoughts as someone who's played it for a little bit longer now that the full game's out? Like what's the overall vibe so far?
I think as it stands now, it's definitely in a much better place than when it was out only in New Zealand. Because the main issue is you could do all the pack openings and stuff, but there literally wasn't a reason to like play against other people. Like you were only playing against other people for like 15 EXP, which is basically nothing.
Yeah.
So that was really annoying. So basically I was just logging in every day for a pack and that was it. But now since the game is released, they've actually started releasing events to make you play the game. They released an event where you can verse against a computer and you can potentially get a Lapras EX from a booster pack. So that's cool. So more events like that are always good. And then they did release another event, which is a PvP focused event, which means that like I think you need to get 45 total wins in the month of November, and then you get like a special badge for your account. So it gives people a little bit of an incentive. There's like rewards along the way for like hourglasses for packs and stuff. So at the moment, I think they're doing a pretty decent job with getting people hooked. Especially, I have a bit of a different perspective because I have been playing it longer. Where like I am getting a little bit sick of the main booster pack. Like I can't wait for them to release a new booster set.
I feel you. 100%.
But the way that I'm looking at this, the current PvP event, it is titled something like Genetic Apex Event. And Genetic Apex is the name of the set. So I'm assuming that when this event ends, that they'll probably release a new set. That's my assumption. I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely getting sick of opening the same packs over and over again. So I'm looking forward to new cards, new strategies, because like everyone's just running the same decks right now. It feels like a little mundane. So I'm hoping to see new cards come out to give us like new cards to play with, new decks to build, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I like, and I guess from my perspective as someone playing it, not necessarily like to go and do like, you know, to actually like battle and that kind of stuff. Like it's just a nice little like thing to have. It's a nice little collector. Like, you know, as you said, you get 2 free packs a day. You get the hourglasses, you know, so if you want to open a bunch of packs, like right now I'm just saving the hourglasses. Because like, even though I don't have all the cards, or I don't have, I guess, all the I think there's like that special Mew card that you can get if you get all the Kantomons. I don't have that, but that's fine. Like I don't really care too much, I suppose. But it's more like, yeah, I agree. Like I think like I'm trying to save a bunch of hourglasses, or just all the hourglasses now, for when the new set releases, because then you do a crap ton of packs, get a bunch of new cards. Like, you know, it's kind of fun. And I like that they do have the offline and online battle. So like I can go, like I was very lucky I got the Lapras EX from the promos, which is awesome. And the fact that like you can do those battles offline, or sorry, they are offline, I should say, like was really cool. So I'm not like, you don't feel pressured to have to go in online, build a deck. And as someone who doesn't really, I guess, for lack of a better word, like TCG to that kind of degree, you know, you're not forced to play online and do this and do that. Like you're kind of just like, oh, it's an offline thing. You can build an auto deck and just kind of click auto. And if you win, you win. If you lose, you don't lose the stamina, which I found out last night, which is actually pretty cool.
That's cool.
So, you know, you only consume the stamina if you do win the fight, which is really awesome. So, I think it's a really positive kind of game. It is very much a pocket style, like, you know, oh, you pull out, you know, you pull out your phone, you play a little bit, you know, Bob's your uncle, or you put it away. Like, it's not like this like grandiose, like uber sweaty kind of, you know, mode. I feel like kind of like Duel Links got to a point where it was hella sweaty, but like I think this feels good so far.
The current PvP event is very sweaty. Like, like every match I'm going up against like a top tier deck.
Megalodon. So I think they need
crazy.
They need like a ranked. I think you mentioned on Twitter, like they need some form of ranking. Like you need a rank. You know, like if I go and play, I get shat on. Obviously, I don't play TCG. Some sweat lord comes in with his fucking Pikachu Zapdos deck, and I'm like, fuck, man. Like, you know, and I'm just playing with the fucking auto built deck or some bullshit. But then instead, you know, instead, like if they had a ranked mode or whatever it is, then I at least could, you know, if I wanted to get into it, I could verse people that are obviously at my level, which would be the better part.
Skill-based matchmaking.
100%. No, it's cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I think Pokemon Company have a real like hit with this game, because like everyone has had that experience of opening Pokemon cards before.
Yes.
And the fact that we could have like this game on our phones now, where you know you don't even have to spend any money. You can just log in. You get free booster packs per day. I think this game's going to be a pretty big success, so long as they're not releasing stuff too quickly where people can't save their hourglasses. But at the end of the day, you still get, you know, 2 to 3 packs per day, depending if you buy the premium pass or not. Most people are going to buy the premium pass, which gives Nintendo their profits for the month. Like, and I think, I can't remember the exact number, but I think it had like over 10 million downloads in the first few days. Or something.
Some
like,
crazy shit. That was nuts.
Yeah,
like that's actually disgusting.
And if you think, even if 1% of those people buy the premium pass, like that's a shitload of money.
Even if you spend $1, 10%, like 10 million downloads, and 10% of those people spend $1, it's $1 million. Done. Like, that's ridiculous. Which honestly, like, the game's good. Like, even I almost bought the premium pass because I was like, oh, you know, like cool, more packs, more different things to purchase. Like, I'm not going to, because I don't think I'm going to be as invested in actually like playing like the competitive, I guess, aspect of things.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like you said, it's 2 free packs a day, and you get like what? I think if you do like the bare minimum daily missions, you get 3 hourglasses. So technically, like you can get like a third pack every like 4 days as well if you want to use the hourglasses consistently or something like that. Like,
which means I think you need 120 to do a 10 pack. So
that was fun. I did one of those and it was fucking sick.
It's really
like
fun.
all the 10 like, yeah, like but how am I gonna select my pack that has the bent corner,
Oh
Todd?
my god.
Or the one that's turned
So
backwards,
fucking
dude.
stupid.
What am I gonna
So
do?
stupid.
That was such a funny situation on Twitter, but seeing like the false illusion or something like that, like
all the Timmies.
it's so
Bruh.
good. Like obviously I
It's the
believed it
schoolyard,
too at
the
first,
schoolyard,
I was like, oh
the
shit, like, this
schoolyard
is real.
rumors.
I believed it. I
Yeah.
believed it at first, and then I was like, wait a minute, like surely not. Like like it's good
My
though.
dad works at Nintendo, and he said
that this is real. No, I think
Yep.
again, I think it's really good. I think it's a fun mode. I'm excited to just like use it because like I think the best part, at least for now, it doesn't feel like over encumbersome. Where like for example, not to bring Treasure Cruise back up, like if you miss a day on Treasure Cruise, like you feel like shit because now you're just behind. Like and now it's like there's like an essence of stress, especially for someone like yourself making content, blah blah blah. Like you need to make sure you have the units to use them and like it's tough, right? But at least for this so far, I should say, at least the way that I'm going to try to play it is like log in a couple times a day, maybe do a couple auto battles just to farm some some like free stuff, like open the packets, when the new set comes out, use all my hourglasses on that. I do actually like the wonder pick system a lot, in all honesty, as well. It's kind of funky. Yeah. Like it's cool like that. You can, if your friends get good packs, you can also potentially benefit from it as well. And like they have like the current like Chansey and was it the Chansey and Meowth like kind of promo, which is like it's weird, like every so often you get like a free wonder pick, which you can get a card, you can get like some like items to go and purchase more things. Like I like it. I think it's a really cool little feature as well. They have the whole showcasing thing, which is like, whatever. But make sure you guys are going and liking all your friends' showcases so everyone gets the shop tickets, I think they're called, to go and purchase more stuff, which is really cool. I'm a big fan. I think it's a cool game. It's something additional to kind of do. It doesn't feel like it's a burden, at least for the time being. I think it's really positive. I think it's really good overall. Very happy with it.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
I guess the last thing, I think TCG Pocket will probably move into our TCG Corner section going forward, which I think is cool.
Oh yeah, true.
But I guess in the last thing, in the TCG Corner, anything happening in the OPTCG world?
One Piece card game has just released. It literally just came out today.
Oh, okay.
The reprint booster set, which basically reprints a bunch of super rares, secret rares from the past few sets, or from like basically since the start of the game until now. So a lot of people were waiting for reprints of certain cards. They're going to be in this set. Some cards that have got reprinted have new artworks, new textures. They've also released so the Dawn cards, which are like the energy cards.
Yep.
They have new artworks for all, like there's like 32 or something.
Jesus.
Like
okay.
new artworks for the Dawn cards, and they're like of all the leaders. So there's like a Luffy leader, there's a Whitebeard Dawn. They look sick as hell. So I'm really hoping I can get some Katakuri Dawn because they look absolutely awesome. I'll try and post a picture here in just a sec.
Yeah.
So yeah, they basically feature all the characters, or not all the characters, but a handful of characters that basically have special energy that are like
what the hell?
Themed about them. Yeah, so there's like, there's like Water 7 for like Iceberg leader. There's like Croc's Hook on the Dawn card. There's like I guess there's like Vivi with her arm up in the air with the cross on it for her Dawn. Like, yeah, so like that's really, really cool.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
So
there's like multiple different rarities. There's like a common version, there's a holographic textured version, and then there's like a golden version.
Damn.
It's just like, yeah, they're gonna be expensive as shit.
Absolutely.
And then also there is a chance if you open a pack from this set, there is a chance you get a God pack, which has every manga rare in it.
Dude, I saw a video on Twitter of someone getting that, and that was fucked. Like,
it's insane.
That is like do you know how much money you're gonna make off that pack? Like
that one pack is like a $10,000 pack, just about.
Holy fuck, dude! That's so like that was crazy seeing that shit.
So Carissa and I have a couple boxes coming. So
very exciting.
We'll see what happens.
Very, very exciting.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. Have you been playing much recently at all, or?
The brand new starter decks came out. We've been playing around with those. I have some new decks built. We haven't actually like gone to play at locals. There was locals tonight, but we didn't feel like going
Yeah,
tonight
yeah.
anyway. So, but yeah, we have decks built, but we just haven't gone ahead and
Yeah, right.
and played a bit yet. So we're waiting. We can't wait until early December when OP.09 comes out because we have a case of that pre-ordered. Hopefully the case is still going to be coming.
Yeah, that's it.
And then that's going to be a lot of fun to open
I guess my last question is like, how do you feel the game is going? Like, do you think there's still a lot of interest in it? Are you still interested in it? Like, do you think there's still a lot of hype around it? People like kind of dropping off? Like, what's that kind of sentiment, I suppose?
I feel like the popularity of the game is still pretty much where it's at. Like, it hasn't really dipped. It hasn't dipped. It hasn't really like spiked. It's been pretty consistent.
That's cool.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I guess in my local area, it feels kind of like it's maybe dipped a tiny bit, but it's not super noticeable. Like it's still popping. A lot of people still love it.
Yeah.
I don't see it dying anytime soon. Like the One Piece card game has pretty much solidified itself as one of the premier card games
in that's good.
Card game community. Yeah.
That's a positive thing, I think, obviously. Very, very cool.
Yeah, it's just a really well-made game.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Awesome. That's it, I suppose, for content, which is great. Very, very, very nice episode there. I guess to everyone's favorite section in other news, just some funny stuff, I suppose, more than anything. Bandai forgot to add the Roger Rayleigh Gaban Rumble Super Special.
The Gooses.
The RG RSS.
Oh my God.
Which is very funny, but then they went back and did a 14.2.1 patch, which is really cool. So now that should be in the game. So it is what it is. Bandai, weirdly enough, they added in, for some reason on the Uta banner, they had TM, Nami, and Carrot were available to purchase. Not purchase, sorry, but available to pull, which is very odd.
Yep.
And then they since removed that, which was like a really, like, that could have been a massive mistake in the waiting. So yeah, that's very funny there. And then the final thing here is that the exchange Vivi is now attainable. With the current co-op season, you can now complete the panel missions to get the exchange Vivi. So very, very cool going forward there.
Very neat.
From that, we have from everyone's favorite section into the shoutouts. Woohoo!
Way.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you go down there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And Todd, what are they commenting today?
They are commenting special cooldown.
Special cooldown. Okay. Special cooldown in the comment section down below if you made it this far. But yeah, if you've enjoyed today's episode, you can hit the join button, which, you can support us financially. Plenty of different tiers at different price points. Give a massive shout out to our GGP producer of Alexander Wisniewski and our good members of Ryoiin, Stump D, Gacha, Red Halo, Dr. Erection, Wankerfellow, Mike Shallow, Kiri Karasu, and Obsidian Steed 117. Thank you guys for the continued support. We do greatly appreciate it.
I will say, shout out to Wankerfella, by the way.
Okay.
He reached out to me on Twitter DMs throughout the week. He said that after he watched the latest episode and how I mentioned that I now wear glasses, he said that he could potentially hook me up with some future glasses moving forward in the future with his business. That
he works on. So, there we go.
Shout out to Wankerfella.
Pause on that.
Some dope stuff.
But yeah, hell yeah, dude. That's super useful. We love that. We love that a lot. But yes, from the shouts to everyone's actual favorite section, it is the Q&A.
The Q&A.
If you have any questions, send them through to us via our Twitter at GGP Podcast or our YouTube community tab. First question comes in from Obsidian Steed, and they ask, in your opinion, what anime/manga fight had the wrong person win?
Ooh. Okay. Hot take. Eren in Attack on Titan should have killed everyone.
Yes, I agree.
Just literally end it in the most brutal way possible.
I mean, I think that was always like the sentiment that he wanted to go with in the first place, and he pussied out, right?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah,
that would have been way better as a story. Like it would have been brutal as fuck. But I mean, like that would have just it makes the main character win.
No, absolutely right. I think Eren should have just killed everyone. We've rambled this ending so many times now, but I just hate how it ended anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if Eren had just killed everyone, that would have been fucking crazy. That'd have been such a cool fucking way to kind of end the whole thing. So I agree 100%. I don't think I have any. There's no other fights that I can kind of think of where the wrong person won.
Shit.
Maybe like I don't know. Do you care about Haikyuu at all?
No, not really.
Haikyuu spoilers. In the I don't remember what the team name is called, but at the nationals, Hinata and Co. they lose in the semifinals and the quarterfinals or wherever it was. And I kind of felt like that was a bit of a slight, but obviously for the story, like reading forward in the story, it makes sense why they lost. But like, it would have been cool for them to win overall. Would have been very exciting. But I guess that's kind of one of those moments where the wrong person won, I suppose.
Oh, I got another one. So I'm not the biggest fan of the Pokemon anime, but man, so there was like the Pokemon League that Ash was part of at one point, and in like I don't know if it was like the actual finals or if it was like one of the brackets beforehand.
Yeah.
But he had to face a dude that had like Darkrai and Latios or whatever.
That guy was cracked. Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah. True. What the hell do they think that was the dumbest shit ever? Why'd they pull that one? Having to do with legendaries against Ash? Like, come on, man. That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm not an Ash fan, but that's some bullshit.
No, I agree. Yeah, that was odd. He never came back into the story either, though, right? Like he was just a guy.
He was just a dude that just showed up and decided to say, "Hey, fuck it, I'm gonna win."
I have a Darkrai. I have a fucking Latios. He probably had other fucking demons in there too. Like,
yeah, we didn't even get to see him.
What a freak! Holy shit. Yeah. I agree. All right. Our next question from Harry Jerkonis. They asked, "Oh my god, pause. Actually, wait a minute. Surely it's not Jerkonis. Hold on. Do you think that the Rainbow Gem economy is bad compared to similar gacha games? Because I think amount of time you need to get 10+1 is too steep without any promotional gems. Also, is it possible for OPTC to get new players? As a veteran, the game seems impossible to get into right now. I think the gem economy is tough. I mean, I think it's more because of how many legends they release more than anything. Yeah. Like,
you just got to concede the fact that you don't pull on every banner.
Yes, which sucks because that shouldn't be how a game works. But that's reality.
If you just wait between Super Sugos, if you play the game every day, you log in, you do the missions that are like the bare minimum missions required to beat content, you will net yourself a ton of rainbow gems between each Super Sugo. Now, there is the fact that they can release a Super Sugo Part 1 and then a Part 2. At that point, it gets sketchy for sure. But if you're doing the right thing, then it is okay. But if you're the type of player that wants to pull more often on these banners, then yeah, you get kind of screwed for sure.
Yeah. No, I think at the end of the day, like you just need, I think the big part is considering the fact that you're not going to pull on every banner. I think it's just accepting the reality that, it's okay to not have every legend, because as we literally talked about today, every legend we talked about today was kind of average, except maybe like Kaido and King, right?
Yeah.
So if you can just avoid like 4 or 5 legends right there and move on with your day, right? Like it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I think it is kind of tough. Like they need to do something, and obviously it's not fun because they've removed in like the minimal login gems we got anyway.
Gems. Yeah.
But something kind of needs to give at some point where like they have to concede the fact that people aren't pulling on every banner as well. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's kind of odd. It's I would have liked it to like they more gems are needed. I think like basically they need to double how many gems they're giving out on a monthly basis going forward if they want people to keep pulling on every single part or every single banner, because it is very. Or I know this is probably incorrect. Or they need to make the gem packs better, like the purchasable ones. Like 300 gems is just not enough. Like, which just sounds like really stupid, but it really isn't a lot for how much you have to spend to get them in the first place.
Yeah, Treasure Cruise is definitely like a more expensive gacha game. for the amount of money you have to spend to do X amount of multis is really bad. But I feel like maybe the reason is maybe they value the fact that you get an extra unit every multi compared, because not a lot of gachas do that, like 10+1.
True.
Usually it is
True.
just 10. So
Yeah.
the fact you get a free extra unit every multi, and that extra unit typically has a step up with it, whether it be a rate boosted character at a bare minimum, a legend. So that does give more credence, but it's just the fact that a lot of the time the +1 is just terrible and doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well,
So
that's it.
yeah,
No, I think that's actually a really good point that I didn't kind of consider. Yeah. It's just like for example, in Australian, like, you know, for AUD, it's like 300 gems is $160. Like
yeah, it's a lot.
50 cents per gem is very, very expensive. Like, I feel like you need a half the price. Like 300 gems should be like
add more discounted multis for
exactly,
sure.
or something like
That would help too.
something needs to change. I think like if they move to a 30 gem per multi system, so it's like to do 30 multis would be 900 gems would be fucking amazing. The whole game would change. Good. You know what I mean? People would be pulling probably on every single banner going forward.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
and we know it's possible because they have done things in the past where like they have done like multis that are like 1 gem, 10 gem, 20 gem, 30 gem, 50 gem. Like it's very conceivable.
Or do 3, get 1 for free.
Exactly. It's like it's very like there is opportunity for them to go and do that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's tough. But I mean, you know, we're still playing, so we'll see how we go. But I think at some point something does need to kind of shift and change. You know, so we'll see how we go there. The other part is getting into the game as a new player. Yeah, it's always been tough.
Yeah, it's bad.
And, you know, we've brought up a lot of those issues to a lot of people.
They need to make the game easier.
But I think they're so far in the deep end that it's pretty much impossible now.
Yeah,
to kind of do that. You know, like it's just it's way too hard to make the game easier to get into. It's way too challenging. Yeah, cool. Next question. From Internal Scarf 91. They asked a lot of questions, but I pulled 2 of the more interesting ones, I suppose. The first question was, has OPTC changed your life? I think the answer is yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I would not be married if it wasn't for
Treasure Cruise. Exactly right. Like you've had your whole career is Treasure Cruise, you know, which is crazy, right? Like, Todd and I wouldn't have met. Podcasts wouldn't exist. Opportunities to work with Bandai wouldn't have happened. Like, you know, you got sent to fucking Comic-Con, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, I think, you know, for the better or for worse, I think even in other areas, like we've talked about in the past, but like having the podcast has made me like way more, like way better at like public speaking and being able to hold conversation and like, you know, all that kind of stuff. All those like very, those like personable, like soft skills have been very much elevated because of playing Treasure Cruise and like even like things like analyzing the game, like, analyzing like business practices and talking about like reasons behind decisions, all that kind of stuff have all come from Treasure Cruise alone. So there's that part there. And the other part was, what is your fondest memory you have of OPTC?
Ooh.
Fondest memory.
I mean, I have a couple.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, when the first Blitz battle first came out.
Yeah.
That was really, really fun. And I mean, not only just the fact that like people were able to stop at 400, the actual grind with it. I streamed a lot of it, which was a lot of fun. And it was funny because during that night, the first night it was out, they announced the 6+ of Sengoku.
Oh yeah,
in Japan.
Yeah,
and that's when I did the pull on whatever banner. I think it was the Magellan banner at the time, and I actually pulled Sengoku for the first time. It was fucking hilarious. So there's that. When Lucy Sugo Fest came out, that was so much fun. I had Dylan and Jacob with me on stream.
I remember that.
Pulls.
Yeah,
that was so much fun. Being able to go to Comic-Con because of Treasure Cruise was like probably a really fun memory of mine as well. For being able to hang out with Roger's Base, Yannicka, Miyoshi,
true.
Yeah, that was all really fun for sure.
Absolutely. I think like, yeah, for me it's like having the podcast be like just such a staple has been really positive. Like, I think like, you know, that's been really fun to have that. Obviously, like fondest memories, I suppose, like being able to do the award shows. the award shows have been like a really cool like end of year kind
Yeah.
of celebration for the community, which has been really cool. And I guess like game wise, like you know, the rice farming event, although it was cancerous, was a really unique memory for me to kind of do that, and like to get first place, and you know, like all that kind of stuff was very fun. And then like other things like you know, releasing Bullet and then getting him on the discount was like crazy as fuck
let's
too.
go.
You know, that was hella fun as well. So yeah,
Bullet the goat.
yeah, exactly. It stays winning forever and ever.
Yep.
Nothing changes. But yeah, those things for sure. Second last question here from Cheesecake for Breakfast. They ask, "Hey guys, what are your thoughts on TCG Pocket? I read somewhere that you need 2 years to get every genetic Apex card free to play, which is kind of insane."
Yeah, I did hear about that as well. Well, realistically, it comes down to luck.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally RNG,
Is
so
that-
you could get everything as like super quick. But
Is that like 2 years because you get those like you can like go and purchase the cards because every pack you do get like 5 of those points, I suppose, and you can go purchase the cards?
Maybe that might be correct. Yeah, that actually makes way more sense. Yeah, you're probably right there. I mean, some of those cards are really expensive to buy, like the crown rares, the gold rares of all the cards. Like those are very
But like, I
expensive
feel like it's
to get.
like, do you need all the cards? I don't know. Like, and I feel like
No, not really.
exactly, you know. And I feel like at the same
Like
time,
a lot of them, yeah.
it's all like cosmetic, right? Like a lot of the cards might be
Correct.
the same, but they just look different. Which is, I mean, obviously, collectors want to collect, right? But I feel like for any kind of game, like this is like the first set, right? Like if the game still stays strong after a year, I can guarantee you that this set will come back at a discounted rate, or those cards will be available potentially through like events or like other means.
Yeah.
You know, like it's how they generally work. Like, but
That's
I mean,
a good call.
2 years is still crazy for a free to play. Which I mean, hey, that's how the modern gacha game works, right? Buy the pass, accelerate your progress. You know, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. But yeah, we talk about TCG Pocket. I think we're overall very positive, and you know, I'm looking forward to consistently updating it. You know, and yeah, like looking at how it goes going forward. So very fun.
Yes, sir.
Last question from Wankerfella, the guy. There he is. Hey fellas, you'll need to check out ESPN on how to market a podcast. Their marketing ads are edgy and know how to grab your attention. For example, their promo for Girl v Horse, interesting title already, right? They catch your attention right off the bat, then follow it up with a girl quoting, "A few years ago, my life went off script that I didn't see coming. I would just topple over head first and finish it off with, and because of that, I have decided to do something possibly absurd. Of course, at this point, I'm intrigued with what that something possibly absurd is, and did not know where this was going. Girl v Horse ended up being about a girl racing a horse 50 miles. Not sure if that is what you guys were thinking, but bravo ESPN. That was a fucking mouthful, and I think that's dog shit marketing. Personally speaking.
I mean, they got old mate's attention, so
yeah, your dumbass attention, wanker fella. But that's dog shit marketing. But hey, who are we to talk, mate?
What the fuck?
So my question is there a movie, game, book, anime, or whatever that had so much hype or anticipation for, but was a huge letdown when it came out? The ending of Attack on Titan. Next question, Your Honor.
Always bringing it back to that.
Bringing it back. I mean, it's the same things, right? It's what is it, Promised Neverland? Like that was also dog shit.
Oh no.
The new season of Blue Lock. I don't know if you've seen the memes about it, but holy fuck, it's a fucking slideshow. Like in terms of anime, that's kind of the things that for me, it's like it follows that kind of suit where. It kind of like it has a really gas initial start, and you're like, okay, it's gonna be very hype. I'm anticipating it, and then it just slowly deteriorates and like lets you down going forward. But you know, that's kind of been. I don't know about any books or whatever.
The second Joker movie was a bit of a letdown.
I've not seen it, nor will I go see it at this point.
No,
but I've heard that it's fucking ass. Like it's so bad.
That Borderlands TV show was a huge letdown.
Was it? That's a shame.
I never watched it, but heaps of the fans like were spiting it. Like they were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you've done this to the source material. What the fuck? This is terrible." So yeah, that was a fail. There's been so many that have
That
been just
sucks.
absolute fails.
That sucks because like
It's
Borderlands
such a shame when
yeah.
like you've got the source material there, and I get you have to adapt it. You can't do everything one for one. Some things just don't translate. But
Yes.
like you can do the bare minimum. Like, come on, bro.
Yes, I agree.
Terrible.
I agree.
At least this is why Oda is taking like full control of the Netflix live action and why it's actually, seen some success, because the the author of the series wants to see his story, when it's conveyed in the right way, and it's turned out to be pretty good.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for season 2.
Absolutely right. I'm very keen for it. Yeah, I don't know about like, I don't think there's been any manga that I got let down on, I suppose. I don't know about any books or movies, anything else I can think of. No. And then on the
I tell you,
yeah,
there was one. So when it was way back when, Dylan, Jacob, and I, we went to the movies a lot, and we were trying to figure out what movie we wanted to go see. And we saw that this movie came out recently. This was like ages ago, years ago, and it was the movie with Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt called Passengers.
Yeah.
It's basically the story of like the human population taking a big ship to a new planet to go and just go and survive on a new planet.
Yeah.
And basically the way that the whole story is that the Chris Pratt character woke up early. They're all in like so they're all in sleep mode or whatever the fuck. He wakes up early. He gets lonely. He wakes up a chick, and she doesn't know about it, that he woke her up, and then they get mad. But it's actually ended up being a fucking romance movie after all of it.
What the
but
fuck?
The stupid thing about it is all of the promos made it seem like a thriller, because they basically made it so the ship was like causing problems. The robots on the ship were like malfunctioning and shit. It looked like a thriller. And then the movie ended up being a romance movie. So us three dudes just chilling in the movie theater watching this fucking romance movie. It was the most awkward shit ever.
Okay.
We got debated so bad.
Fuck that, man.
Yeah.
Sounds like shit.
So that
sounds
was
like
a
ass,
letdown.
bro.
If the original movie was the way that it was supposed to, it would have been pretty sick. But no.
Yeah,
that sucked. That sucked.
That's annoying. On the OPTC side of things, with the anime going on a hiatus for 6 months, what do you think we can expect with the legends that are to be released in the upcoming months? Since they've made many legends of secondary villains like the Toby Ropo, I wouldn't mind if Bandai went back and made legends of other secondary character villains like Mr. One, Diamante, Axehand, Morgan, etc. Cheers from Canada. Thank you. Cheers from Canada.
Appreciate it. I mean, that would be a cool
I'm
idea,
down.
but are they going to?
No. Because Wano sells, Egghead will sell. There's still a lot of Egghead they haven't touched at all that they can milk, like a new Kizaru legend, a new Kuma legend, a new Bonnie legend. All the Vegapunks can get more legends very easily. They can, what is it? They could easily do the Gorosei at some point. They could, like, there's so much more they can do with Egghead alone that I think that's going to be the trickle down for the next, like, 6 months, most likely. So, yeah. That's kind of my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, considering the hiatus, I really don't know what they're going to do. Are we just going to get Wano for 6 months? Probably, right?
I think they have to be very... I think this is where, like, relying obviously on the anime makes it challenging, which I mean you can't really do much else, right? But in a situation where the anime does go on a hiatus, like you have to be very, very careful in terms of how you release characters going forward and what you kind of do, because this this is probably one of the first moments where I sit there and I'm like, I'm not going to say EOS is going to happen, but I mean, like, if they don't release the right units and make it interesting for the next like 6 months, a lot of people could really see themselves probably leaving the game if it's just going to be like one over and over and over again. Like, fuck that. I don't want that shit,
Man, they need to make a new One Piece gacha, for real.
I think they do. I think if they keep the same kind of gameplay structure as Treasure Cruise, where it's like tapping based and that kind of stuff, I'm in for it. But they do need to reinvent how with modern fucking standards of gacha games and modernized all this kind of stuff. You know, because I think Treasure Cruise is very outdated, and you know, fucking, I think it's time for Treasure Cruise 2, mate. That's what I'm saying.
Let's go.
Let's end the game, release Treasure Cruise 2, and then let's fucking start cooking. But yeah, I mean, I hope that over the next like couple months, they do release just like more unique characters as opposed to just retapping the Wano and the Wano and Egghead, you know, barrel for like going forward again and again and again. But you know,
I'm calling it now. New Year's is gonna be Monkey D. Dragon.
I think it's gonna be.
That's my hot take.
As long as I hate to agree with the Rizla, aka Rizzy, I do see it being like a Luffy versus Lucci. I really do.
Oh, that'd be so boring.
I don't want it. I despise it. But I can really see it being the case, which is so cringe.
That would be such a snooze fest.
But I mean, we've released the young Vegapunk, so I don't see why not. It's time for a dragon unit. I don't know what he's gonna do, but like
I don't know either.
I think it's time though, right?
Because Dragon doesn't have a unit in the game, and that means that they've got a lot of freedom to really just do whatever they want. Like a lot of characters that release in the game, they will typically have a theming with the unit and they'll do similar things. So like a lot of the Katakuris that come out have similar effects to each other. A lot of the Rogers that come out, they have like these abilities to do like fixed damage through everything. Like they all typically have that kind of ability. So if they're going to do that with a character that hasn't been released in the game yet, then I have no idea what the hell they're going to do.
I have no clue. Like genuinely like genuinely no clue what they're going to
literally do whatever the hell they want,
which I think is awesome. Like I think it's I think it's good, but yeah, I want to drag. I want like it's time to just do unique shit. You know, like now you have 6 months to be creative. You have 6 months to try different stuff. Like rather than going back into because you know the next year of Treasure Cruise is just going to be Egghead the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a couple Rogers chucked in there, maybe a couple Kaidos, obviously. But like, you have 6 months now to just be creative and do a bunch of different shit. I think that's the cool part.
Yeah.
So hopefully they kind of follow suit and do that going forward. That's it though. I think that's it for another episode with the dynamic duo.
That is it.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you go down there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment. What was it? Special cooldown. Special cooldown in the comment section down below. We do greatly appreciate it. You know, whilst you're also down there, you can go to our Linktree link. That is linktr.ee/Perfect. You can find all of our socials at Twitter or on Twitter at GGP Podcast or our YouTube community or on YouTube, obviously, where you're watching this one most likely, or any of our audio versions. You can find those on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, to name a few. Plus, if you want to go on Anchor, or now it's called podcast.spotify.com, if you want to go find the audio version of the show. Whilst you're also down there, make sure you go to all of our socials. Todd, myself, Flame, and Knight. Go follow, like, sub, donate. I don't know, do all that kind of fun stuff. You never know what's going to happen there. But with that being said, I've been Captain Papi, and with me, joined by Totsuki as well. We'll chat to you guys next time. Peace.
Goodbye.